Hi my dear friends, this is Andy. Welcome to my channel and to my apartment. Today I'll be working with a very old dresser that I found in Facebook Marketplace for $30. These dressers with a mirror were quite popular in the 80s over here. The previous owner told me that the mirror had broken, but she gave me the old support. I'll use its wood. Follow me to see what I came up with. You won't believe it. Here you can see that the top is hardboard and it's in pretty harsh condition. In fact, I could remove it with one hand. However, the frame is made of solid wood. I'll start by removing the drawers. They are made of solid pine, but the bottoms are hardwood too. This lead doesn't seem to belong to the piece. The wood looks rustic. It was most probably made by an artisan back in the days because the sides are held in place with nails. The construction of the drawers and the skeleton of the piece looks really solid. I'll reinforce the bottoms because I don't want the new owners to have any problem. I'll start vacuuming everything. I'll try to get rid of all the dust and cobwebs. This thing is filthy. Some treasures, a Chilean flag and a clothes brush. This drawer won't come off. It's because of the base. Somehow the piece must have sunk. This idea of using printed hardboard to give the illusion of wood must have been very popular in those days. Using so much wood but wrapping it in false grain must have been in vogue back then. I'll remove this base. It's made of pine, but it has a pattern. The artisan must have made it by hand. Although this is rustic and had problems, it's something done with skill. I'm really falling in love with this piece. It was really well nailed. Now I'll reveal my plan. This shape with those two lower drawers is too outdated. I love the wood details on the front of the drawers and the pattern of the wood. However, nobody will want something like this in their house. So I'll separate the lower part and make a nightstand. This will be a new set. It's going to require some elbow grease, but this has potential, guys. Nails, my nemesis. I spent about 30 minutes trying to separate this part. The bottom was one for both parts, so I used my Japanese saw to separate them. Thanks, Perry. I'll get rid of all the base. Then it was time to clean everything. I used soapy water. I won't be using this hardware, I simply don't like it. I must confess that this video will focus on the nightstand part. I have been having a lot of work lately and I haven't been able to advance on my projects and my videos. This refinish has taken almost a month and a half just because of how tired I have been. These handles are outdated and they are not even brass, and they have gouged the drawers. I'll scuff sand the front of the drawers and try to get rid of all the roughness of the wood. I'll try to make it smoother and less rustic. I'll use wood filler to repair the gouges the hardware did to the drawers. I'll start building the missing side of the nightstand. The wood had this texture that I need to keep, so I'll reuse some of the old base to recreate one of the sides. Here you see me working on one of those many nights. I have to use hand tools so as not to make any noise. I used some self-tapping screws to add the new wood to the piece. I thought of drilling pilot holes because I realized that I have to countersink the screws. I'll reuse some of the hardboard to recreate the missing side. If you saw my last video, I'll try to recreate the frame I gave the sides with some trim pieces. Measure, cut, and scuff sand. I'll use wood glue and my brother's nail gun to attach the new side. I'll reuse this loose slat to give some support there. Now it is time to sand everything. This is so dirty that I really enjoyed cleaning all those years of dust. Well, if you know me, I usually build new tops for my furniture. Chile is a pine producer country, so pine is abundant, economical, and it has excellent quality. So I'll use some fresh pine to give my piece a new life. As the size of this new nightstand is quite particular, I'll have to add some extra wood. I'll use wood glue and dowels to join the new cuts. I'll clamp them and let them dry overnight. I'll join the rest of the slats following the same procedure. If you're enjoying the video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. But you can also check the description below for other ways to support my work, like my wish lists or buy me a coffee link. And if you'd like, you can even join as a channel member. To all my amazing members, thank you from the heart. Your support means everything and truly keeps me inspired. Here I'm cutting some trim pieces to give the sides a frame. As the main dresser will have a joint with new wood where the nightstand was, I was thinking of concealing it with this wood frame, so I'll make both pieces coherent. Of course, my Milo is always next to me. A few days later, I started building a proper base for this nightstand. I'll use the DIY wife base that people love so much. I'm going to reuse this lead because of its texture. The sides will be made of pine because I want to use the rest for the main dresser. I'll use wood filler to cover some of the previous holes. And it is time to sand all the wood filler and make this piece as smooth as possible. I'll reinforce the top with some screws. I'll measure where to start tapering the legs. I'll attach the new base with pocket screws and glue. Now it was time to tackle the drawers. As I told you before, I think they are handmade because of the nails and the rustic look. The hardboard used for the bottom is in really good shape, so I'll reuse it. Now this nail wasn't necessary. I think the lady who owned this dresser never saw this, but I cannot refinish it knowing that there's a dangerous nail back there. I'll get rid of all the rustic texture, this piece will be smooth. I'll sand everything with 120 grit and then 180. I only have these T-shaped handles in black, so I'll give them a bath in gold. Here I'm concealing the back screw and then I'll hand sand the edges. Getting rid of all the excess wood filler with sandpaper and a utility knife. The rails on the new side panel are longer, so now I'll remove the excess. Well, look at him. That's his summer haircut. Isn't he a beauty? Now I'm using walnut extract as a stain. I diluted it a little bit more to get a lighter hue. And of course, I need some more support. So I'll measure and cut. The wood turned too light, so I'll add this oil-based stain on top of the water-based stain. You can do that and you'll get the tone you want. You just need to let it dry before. It is time to paint. I'm going to be using the same color that I made for the last project. I'll leave a link on the description below. So many people liked it that I really must use it again. This is a really dark purple that actually looks like navy blue. It is relaxing and sophisticated. I applied the first coat with a brush. You can't expect to get full coverage with the first coat. So you must trust the process and continue. Meanwhile, I started sealing the base with water-based polyurethane in satin finish. If you use a foam brush like me, you have to be patient and gentle. The results will be awesome, but the strokes must be smooth and you have to look for bubbles many times. I mean, many times. Second coat to the drawers. And second coat to the body. And this time I used a roller. It gives a smoother finish. If you have seen my channel before, I never skip the back. People don't see it often, but they do see it, and I want the piece to look fine everywhere. Some days later, it was time to attach the base. And also the top. I bought this beautiful Art Deco wallpaper to line the drawers. And it was time to assemble everything. Do you remember what this looked like before? Now here it is. I love the color and the wood combination. I really think this is a piece that will be loved for many years to come. I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you in the next one when I'll be refinishing the dresser. Thanks for watching.